by far the greatest risk from dying of coronavirus. In New York, Andrew Cuomo's administration required nursing home facilities to readmit employees who had tested positive for the virus, which is demented. And that policy may have helped drive the state's massive death toll. In the state of New York, 25% of all coronavirus deaths have been in long-term care facilities. Just today, the state updated its numbers to add 1,700 more deaths to that total. Charles Camasi is professor of theological and social ethics at Fordham University. He's also the author of the book Resisting Throwaway Culture. He's one of the probably fairly few intellectuals in this country who worries about people in long-term care, and we're glad that he does. Professor, thanks so much for coming on. So this has gotten so little attention, and long-term care facilities have gotten so little protection, relatively speaking, from the government, that it seems to tell us something about our priorities.
It does. I wrote a book called Resisting Throwaway Culture. I can't imagine a better example, more tragic example, in fact, of throwaway culture at work. And Tucker, it was really bad even before the pandemic. I mean, we gave terrible pay to these workers. The residents were routinely abused, lonely, rarely visited, virtually no government support. And then Governor Cuomo turned this up to 11 in my state of New York. And we heard him talk and go on and on about the preciousness of human life. Invaluable, he said today. Can we really believe him based on how he treated the workers and the residents of nursing homes in New York?
So, I mean, what would be the reasoning here? We did this story, and it's bothered me. It's stuck with me ever since. I'm not making a partisan point. It's sincere. Why would the governor of New York prevent nursing homes, long-term care facilities, from banning employees with a deadly virus? Why would he do that?
You know, I don't know for sure, obviously, but we can speculate with educated speculation, I suppose. You and I have talked before about the possibility of there being rationing in New York and other places. It turned out there wasn't the need for it. But do we have to revisit that question again, Tucker? Many, many thousands of people over this country, and many, many hundreds in New York, if not thousands in New York, died in nursing homes and died at their homes, in fact, alone in their homes. These people many should have been in hospitals. What would have happened if they went to hospitals? Right. You know, that's an important question I think hasn't been asked but needs to be asked.
So I think what you're suggesting is that the policy encouraged people to stay in nursing homes, not get hospital treatment because our authorities didn't want the hospitals crowded with really old people, and so they died more frequently. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's at least a possibility we have to consider. Like you, I wonder, what could what possible reasoning could there be for sending COVID positive patients back to nursing homes who had no no personal protective equipment, no training. And the best, who knows, but the best thing I can come up with is they didn't want the hospitals to be overwhelmed. If they had taken these patients as COVID patients, if they took them and made sure that they weren't dying often alone without their families being able to see them, what would have happened? Maybe we would have had the horror stories that we all thought were going to happen.
Maybe. It's something that we should examine. I'm worried that we won't, that there's in the crush of so much going on that we'll never get to the bottom of that. But it seems like one of the key bad decisions made during this whole thing, and I hope we find out. Professor, thank you for your help on this.
Thank you, Tucker.
So, Andy.